Hey friends, it is Rebecca Halliday from readingrebels.com here today with level 1, lesson 2 of our Rebel Readers course. Oh my gosh. Okay. Fancy pantsy behind me. Yeah, let's just dive in. Here's what you need before we start. As usual, if you don't have any of these things, don't stress. It's cool. These are just little helpful things to have along the way. You can still do these lessons without these tools. Your little deck of phonogram cards. Okay. These are your cards from last week that you would have either had from your deck or made on your very own index cards or pieces of paper. Those would be good to have. You should have your handy dandy Play-Doh. You should have your basket of goodies. If you don't know what this is, go back to the foundational lesson. Tactile paper, boogie board, whiteboard, etc. Okay, have that with you. Your sand tray, if you have it, and a pencil and a paper and your workbook. Okay, so your workbook if you have it, or print it off, or up on a screen of some kind so you can see this. So the other thing would be to have your dictation sheet, okay? You don't need this for the beginning part of the lesson, but this is something that you should have. Let's get into it and get started today. We have a special neurodiverse person for you today. Who's this guy? Actor Daniel Radcliffe, who has dyslexia and is also the actor in Harry Potter. He is a fantastic actor. Many actors and creative thinkers are differently wired brains. So this guy has dyslexia, meaning it was hard for him to learn to read, everybody, and he became an actor who had to memorize thousands of lines and learn to read scripts and all those things. He did it. It just took him longer in a different way, just like you guys, okay? Not all of you on this journey who are learning to read with me may be neurodiverse, meaning you have dyslexia or a learning disability of some type. It's cool because guess what? This style of learning to read is good for any brain. It's just extra wonderful for people who have differently wired brains. Like I said last time, that's this gal too. Okay, so let's do a little review before we begin. We want to talk about our brain. So last week we talked about our prefrontal cortex, amygdala, hippocampus, my brain. So remember, in order for our brains to be ready for learning, our amygdalas need to be calm. In order for our amygdalas to be calm, that little thing that can go if we're stressed out, we need to breathe. We need to be relaxed. We need to be somewhere where it's quiet and we're in a good place for learning. In order for our amygdala to be calm, the things we do is we meditate, we focus on our breathing, we practice mindfulness. Those are things I highly encourage you to start doing at home and ask mom and dad. There's apps on the phone that you can use for mindfulness. So I really encourage you to do this. Today, what we learned last time was our belly breathing. Our belly breathing is a core concept we're going to come back to all the time, which is, to review, we breathe in through our nose, fill our belly, hold, let it all go, push out as much as you can. This time, we're going to do what's called a bubble breath, but we breathe in through our nose, and we're going to imagine that when we're breathing in our mind's eye, we're filling up one of those wands that has the bubble on the end. As we breathe in, the bubble fills up. Hold. Imagine that the bubble is full, and when you breathe, you're blowing that bubble off the end of your wand. With your eyes closed, I want you to imagine the bubble floating away. Let's try it again. Hold your wand, breathe in, the bubble's filling. Breathe into the belly, not the chest. Hold and blow that bubble away. Farther. Imagine it floating away. Okay. Now that our amygdala is calm, our prefrontal cortex can take in new information in this lesson. And where does it get stored? Boom, in the treasure chest. In the treasure chest called your hippocampus. Teach. Okay, go teach somebody about your brain again. Teach somebody about what keeping your amygdala calm will do for your learning. Pause me. Go teach somebody about your brain. Come back. All right. Oop. Next. Dab. I'm cool, guys. Don't worry. I know how to dab and stuff and floss. I don't know how to floss. I just pretend. We're reviewing closed syllables. Last week we touched on closed syllables. This week we're going to really start getting better at really understanding closed syllables. Okay, here, shoulders back. Closed syllables. Mirrors on. Closed syllables. Do this with me. Closed syllables is a syllable. That means syllable. Syllable that has one short vowel sound. Closed syllable has one short vowel sound. After the vowel, there is a consonant. After the vowel, there is a consonant, sometimes more than one consonant. The vowel in a closed syllable, the vowel in a closed syllable has a short vowel sound. It is called a closed syllable, and this is our motion for because. Because it is called a closed syllable because it is closed in by a consonant at the end. The vowel is closed in by a consonant at the end. Mirrors off. All right, I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to answer like a scholar, meaning you answer in a full sentence. Why is a closed syllable a closed syllable? Scholars, check your ties. And go tell somebody in a full sentence why a closed syllable is closed. Hint, here's your answer. And you say it in a full sentence. Mirrors on. A closed syllable is closed because the short vowel is closed in by a consonant. Mirrors off. Teach. Oh, go teach. All right, come back to me. Next, review time. Mirrors on. A syllable is a word or word part with one talking vowel. Okay. What is a syllable? Scholarly ties. A syllable, Miss Rebecca, is a word or word part with one talking vowel. Mirrors off. What that means is that when you chop up a word into syllables, it can only have, when you're trying to figure out what the word is, it can only have one vowel sound. If you're looking at a syllable and it has more than one vowel sound, you need to cut it into a new syllable. And we're going to practice syllable work later on in the program, but you need to know what syllables are. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Let's do that a sentence again. Here, I have a new one. You know how I said if it's a yes answer, you go, yes, yes. If it's no, you go, no way. I want you to answer a question for me. Can a syllable have more than one vowel sound? Let me ask that as a full question. Can a syllable have more than one vowel sound? Your answer would be, no way. A syllable cannot have more than one vowel sound. No, no, ma'am. Mirrors on, breathe. Everybody breathe. Quick breathe. Let out your breathe. A breathe is the marking that we give a short vowel sound. It is a smiley face with no eyeballs that we put above a short vowel. Here's on. A breathe is the marking we give a short vowel sound or letter. It's a smiley face with no eyeballs above the vowel. All right, last week we'll do a very quick 3-part phonogram drill. Play-Doh time. 3 balls of Play-Doh. You know what to do. Pause me. Get your Play-Doh out. All right, so from last week, same thing. You're gonna smash letter, do a letter name, letter sound, and a keyword for the sound. Let's review our phonograms from last week. A, astronaut. B, bear. C, coffee. F, flamingo. H, horse. J, jaguar. K, koala. L, lemur. M, monkey. P, panda. And T, toucan. Next part of our review, do you remember? Mirzong. A noun is a person, place, thing, animal, or big idea. A noun is a person, place, thing. We stomp our foot for thing. Animal or big idea. Okay, this is just our review from last week. Verbs are action words. Action words: run, play, jump, toot. Adjectives. Adjectives describe a noun. Very good. Okay. So I hope you worked a big bunch. Geez, I need to know how to turn that sound off. Scares me every time. It's new phonogram time, everybody. New phonogram time in the Maritimes, which is where I am in Canada, New Brunswick. A phonogram. This is a phonogram. A phonogram, mirrors on, is a letter or letters that come together in writing to represent one sound. In Greek, phono means sound, gram means written. Mirrors off. Teach. Okay. Go teach somebody about a phonogram right now. By the way, you're going to do it in a full sentence. A phonogram is a letter or letters that come together to make one sound that are written down. Phonogram. We've got a new one this week, y'all. So when you've gone to teach, come back. Check these out. What are you noticing? What do you see here? Huh? Tell me. I wish I had my pointer, but I'm stuck in a snowstorm and I don't. It's at school. What do all of these words have in common? Pause, zoom in, take a look before I tell you. I'm going to jingle my air bell here and tell you the answer in a second. So pause me and think about what these words all have in common. Talk about it with your stuffy. Tell somebody who's next to you. Tell your mom and dad. What do you think? What do they all have in common? Jingle, 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 jingle. Yes, they all have an I sound in the middle and they have a breve over it. So I know when something has a breve, it makes the short sound. So these must all be short I words. I also notice they're closed in by one of those fancy consonants. These must all be closed syllables, right? Yes. Oh, snap. It is short I day. Everybody do this with me. Iguana. Short I says iguana or itchy. We do this for itchy. The key word is iguana. So let's do our 3-part sound drill on this one. Iguana. Very good. Now I would like for you to carefully get out your sand tray. Look at the slide, look at me. No, don't look at me. Look at the slide, or if you have your card in front of you, you can get that out from your deck. Or this would be a great time to write short I on an index card if you don't have this. So here you go. Eh, eh, and you're looking at the sound card the whole time. Eh, that short I says eh, eh, eh. Straight fingers when you're doing that, okay? Good. This is our new vowel of the week. It's a big one. These short vowels are huge, you guys. Okay. Next one, our sound is G says G. G says G like gorilla. Okay, let's do it. G, G, gorilla. Smash it, babies. Next one is N says N like narwhal. N, N, narwhal. R, raccoon. And anytime you want, you say your own keyword. S, salamander. V, volcano. These letters are what? Is this letter a vowel? No way. Say that with me. Is this letter a vowel? No way. This letter is not a vowel. It's a consonant. Good. Oop. I like this guy. W, walrus. W, walrus. X, bop. Okay, X, bop. A lot of kids will say xylophone or something like that they might see on a poster. The sound needs to say, which is why I like sounds that end in, it's like fox and fix and that kind of thing. Y, yeah. Z, Z, zebra. Z, zebra. Z, zebra. Okay. Those are our consonants for this week. So you can take those if you've got them mastered and you take them from your deck. So you should have two decks going. One is for the sounds that we know and that you've mastered. So put an elastic around this one. And then you'll add the sounds from our drill that we just did. Okay. So you add those over to your new pile. Okay. So it's important that, and the great thing about the vowel cards is that they're colored a different color. So in this deck. All right. So if you do these cards on your own, try and make your vowel cards a different color so they stick out because they're the most important ones. All right. Okay, good. Hey, gang. Okay. So I just realized I didn't have the most important sound or one of the most important sounds. They're all equal. D says duh. I think I love this one because it has a little cute dog on it. I wanted to do a quick review of your B and D hand. Do I have an elastic in my pocket? No, I don't. Okay, just a second. Okay, so I went and got an elastic. This is my left hand, okay? My left hand is my B hand. I'm gonna put, you can put an elastic, a sticker, a dot. I want you to make a B with your B hand, which is your left hand. It has the stick and the ball, B hand. And it has to be out in front of you this way to make the proper B, okay? B hand. All we're doing, so B hand, B. When you're not sure if a word is a B or a D word, you're gonna put your B hand out and you're gonna look and see if the letter that you're looking at looks like your hand. That is the B hand trick. In this book, you'll also notice that there's a B and D reversals page. So if you're somebody that struggles with B and D, this is your little page to look for. This is your B and D hand. You make a B that looks just like this big B right here. The B has the stick and the belly, okay? Then there's a page in here that you can use to practice your B's and your D's. And you should be practicing this a lot if you find you're always mixing up your B's and your D's. And this is how it's done. Okay, so you have your B and your sheet out like this. You make your B hand with your left hand. Put it up against your chest. If the letter is not a B or a D, you put your hand against your chest. If it is a B or a D, put your B hand out. Okay, so let's practice. A, so I have this, sorry, starting this way. A, B, S, B, C, B, F, D. Okay. I'm going to pretend that I'm mixing up my B's and D's on the next line. R, D. And this is where you want somebody to help you, help her at home. If you're like, oh, I don't know if that's a B or a D, put your B hand out and check and see. Okay. Yep. Okay. That has a stick and a ball. That's a B. If it doesn't look like your B hand and it's the ball and the stick, you know it's a D. Practice that all the time, every day. Okay. So D says D, 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 dog. Let's keep going on. So those are our consonants and vowels for this week. So those are the main consonants and vowels that you need to know. You need to take your card list this week and you need to drill it. You want to go eh, g, w, b, y. Oh, I said b, but it's d. It was backwards in my screen. And then add on to your words that you, or your phonograms that you already know. So add on every week. P, p, ooh, j. Okay. Get going so you can do those really, really, really fast. All right. So that is the end of our 3-part phonogram drill. Let's write. I want you to get your sand trays, a boogie board, or a whiteboard, and we're going to practice building some short I words. So go get a sand tray or a mat or a pillow, anything that you can write with right now. Okay, sand tray, whiteboard, boogie board. Okay, something that you can see and move. All right, good. Are you back? Pause me, come back. Let's write the letter I on our board. I. So you're going to write I on your board. I'll do it with a boogie board. So let's practice writing I. And I want you to put a breathe above your I for me and say I as you write it. Now I want you to write, what word do you have? So it. Very good. Amazing. Wonderful. Okay. Let's play around with another short I word just for fun. Write the letters or the sounds for me, and then write I and then t. I. And I want you to put your breathe above your I sound. What do you have? What do you have? Take your time. Pause me if you're working on it. It. You should have fit, and it should look just like that. Okay. All right. Keep your put your sand trays or boogie boards aside for now. Okay. Now we're going to do our let's read section. Our let's read section is just to review our word list and our sentences that are in the book. Okay. So the word list and the sentences are in your book. You're going to flip to your short I passage for this week. It has the iguana on it in your book. So go there. Excuse me. Here we go. I'm just going to go through these with you quickly. You are going to play around with these words in your sand tray, on your boogie boards. I don't want you just to read these. This guy's a little over. I have to just let it go. Everyone else has to let it go too. It is what it is. But you need to not just read these words. I want you to write each one on your boogie board. I want you to take your sand tray and be going it. Okay. I want you to be grabbing your sequence pillow. I want you to be taking your letter cards and playing with these words all week until you get to say them really fast. Because remember, if you're going it, you have not mastered it yet. You need to be going bit. You can say the it in your head if you need to, but say out loud just the one word altogether. So that's what you're going to do with this word list and every word list every week. All right, let's read through these together. I wonder if you can see these. Okay, if you can have this in your word list in front of you, that would be awesome. So you can practice along with me in your book. Okay, so let's do it. Bit, fig, hit, big, him, pig, nib, bin, jig, mid. Nonsense. Knit, tig, jit, piff, kiff, biff, kidge, mip, kib, kick. Okay, that's how fast I want you reading these words when it comes to doing it on your own. So practice with me a bunch, all right? Everybody, take a break if you need to, okay? Here we go. I want to, can I zoom in? No, you can't zoom in. All right. Okay, here's our sentence work. Are you ready? Follow along in your book. The Fitbit is in the big bin. Yes. Said the pig. The jig is a big hit with Jim the pig. The big pig had a fit and bit him. Yes, said Kim. Kim was hit with a fat pig and a red fig. Now, I recognize we haven't done short E yet, so I just threw that word in there just because I also want us to practice our adjectives. So as a reminder, short E says eh and ed says red. Last sentence, the pig fit in the bin with him, said Gin. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so you practice those sentences all week. Also do all the motions with me. And I want you practicing with the same kind of expression, okay? Because fluent readers read with lots of expression. You'll also see your timed readings just like last week. If you're just starting, do the real list and time yourself. If you're a little more advanced, do real and nonsense. If you're soup dupe advanced, do real nonsense and the sentences and see how long it takes you, and record your times and try and work against your own time. Okay, so let's do our blending drill. Are you ready to drill? These are also great. If you don't have the workbook, guys, this is where you can pause me and do this kind of drill just from the screen. So if you need to pause me and you want to have a boogie board and do more with this than just this blending drill, pause me, look at the screen, and have your student go it bit. Okay. But you can do it with me right now. Are you ready? Are you ready? It blend. What is it? Bit. Right before I did a little you got to shout out your answer if you don't know it. Pause me, baby. Tin. Egg. Big. I rang the bell too late. Sorry. Bin. It. Fit. Y. N. Yin. Z. It. Zit. You know that some of these are nonsense words. Okay, nonsense words are good. It means you're really thinking about each sound. Okay. W. E. M. Whim. W. E. N. Win. B. E. V. Biv. M. E. D. Mid. D. E. Dis. Who did? Okay. It is time for Our dictation. Oh, yes, it is. So that means you're going to get out your dictation sheets with the bulldog on it. You should have a whole stack of these printed off. If you don't, guess what? It's cool. Just write it on a piece of paper or even a whiteboard. Let's go, babies. All right. What says is I say the sound, you write it down. I say the sound, you write it down. Meaning you write down the letter or letters that that sound makes. If you haven't practiced your phonograms from this week, the short I phonograms and your new consonants, don't do this dictation just yet, okay? Don't do it yet because I want you to really have those solid. So wait for the dictation until you're ready, baby. No pressure. No pressure. Okay. What says ah? What says ah? What letter says ah? What says eh? What says eh? What says g? G. Number 4. What says b? B. And number 5. What says mm? Number 6. What says d? D? Number 7. What says number 8? What says y? Y? And number 9. What says remember, this is the tricky one. There are 2 ways you can write the sound. Number 10, our last one. What says er? What says er? Okay, so once you're done all those, here's how we're going to correct our work. I kind of refined this from the last one. Here you go. Here are your answers. You can pause me and or screenshot me and check your answers. So number 1 is A. I don't have the best handwriting. 2 is I. 3 is G, etc. So screenshot me, pause me, and check your answers. Okay. All right. Moving on next to SOS. So this is where I say a word and you break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. Everybody. So we are going to do short I words this week. Okay. So that you put it on your hand. I say, you say, put it on your hand. Straight fingers. I don't want to see any flimsy flopsies. Slowly writing on sand, this guy, boogie board, something that you can feel or even air write if you need to. Then take your pencil and write it down. Okay, so this is on SOS number 1. Number 1 is mitt. It, mitt. Put it on your fingers. You do the job. Pause me. I will ding-a-ling-a-ling when I go to the next one, so you know to pause on the ding-a-ling-a-ling. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Number 2. Hit. Hit. Number 3. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Bin. B-I-N. Number 4. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Dig. Dig. Number 5. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Sin. I-N. Number 6 is a nonsense word. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Yid. Yid. Number 7, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Rip. Rip. Number 8, mid. Mid. Id. Number 9, lit, lit. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Number 10, bib, b-i-b. Sad news. I had them all written down. I pressed the button. It was gone. So to have those corrected, you need to go back in the video and have a helper correct those for you. And last but not least in our dictation is our sentence. Okay, so get ready for capitals, the cops, capital organization. Organization means it needs to make sense. So when your sentence is read out loud back to you or you read it back to yourself, which is what I want all readers to always do, it makes sense. Okay, get ready. Are you ready? Okay, dictation. The pig sat on a big wig. Okay, so I'm about to reveal how this sentence is written. Please write it yourself first before I ding-a-ling-a-ling. Ding-a-ling-a-ling means pause me. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. I'm about to show you the answer. The pig sat on a big wig. So I have here yes, which is an exclamation mark. Okay. So our next activity we're going to do together and our final activity is to do some mind map words, sight words, red words, words that we need to memorize for our reading. Okay. So get ready for that. Go stretch. You worked hard on this dictation. Go have a little snack ski. See you in a minute. Okay, just as a reminder, mind map words are sight words that you might be used to calling them. I call them mind map words because usually every word has a part that we know the sound of. We know our letter sounds. If you don't know your letter sounds, don't even worry about sight words right now. Get your letter sounds down first and foremost. Mind map words mean there's a part of the word we need to map to our brain and learn by heart. There's a great site, it's called Heart Words. It's free, I believe. Look it up online. It's called Heart Words. I'll try and find the link to it. But basically, there's parts of the words that we know, and we mark the parts that we do know. So right here, for example, these are the words we're going to work on this week. Here's what I think is a great strategy. I have a poster that I put together of mind map words I think you should know. There are all kinds of lists and orders of words that you should know. I put some here. I want to acknowledge I'm aware that I put the word said twice. I put the word said twice in my list. So we're all just going to have to get over it. I did that. The end. It's no problem to practice it. So your mind map words that you really should know are here. If you go to any Orton Gillingham site, it'll say red word list. You can use that. But if you want to use your high frequency words from home or from a school list, go for it. These are words that don't follow our typical rules that the OG rules tell us and teach us. So for example, here we have a, said, the, of, and. Okay. So here's what I do. For the word said, we know that S says and we know that V says, so we can put a little, I'm going to stop it as a slideshow for a second and show you what I would do to mark this up or what I do to mark to practice. Okay. All right. So you can't see it quite as well, but I'm going to try and make it big so you can still see it pretty well. So here's what we do. I do this. So with my students, I would say, okay, we have to map to our brains that AI in said says eh, eh. So write that word out on an index card, mark in your book. So put a little square or a dot under the letters that you know. The heart part means it's a piece we have to memorize by heart. So you're going to be writing it. And here's the thing with mind map words. It's the only ones you're going to do letter names. The rest we always do sounds. So S-A-I-D, said. Under the AI, we know that S-A-I, the AI says eh. We still use the sounds as well, but we do say the letters. S-A-I-D says said. Okay, I gotta memorize it. A-I said in the word. Did I erase it? These boogie boards. Said says So take this word, put it on an index card. Then you'll see here, what you can start doing is covering up the part that you need to remember. Uncover. I have a thing in here where you can actually cut out the little hearts and use the hearts to cover up the letters that you're working on. The hearts and squares and everything. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna block that out and try and remember it. S-A-I-D, said. Okay, and then you're gonna see if you can spell it. S-A-I-D, said. Great, uncover your heart. Yes, perfect, I did it. Okay, the same with the. TH, you might not know that TH says v, and at the end of the E says which is not our normal rule. So same thing, go v, TH-E, TH-E, and then you'll see if you can spell it on your own, say it on your own, uncover it. Yes, I did it. And that's what you can do, cut out little hearts, make it fun. The other thing I have is, in your book, you have one of these. Put it in a little pocket protector, page protector, laminate it if you're a nerd like me and you love laminators, okay? You would write the word said here, and then write and say your word out loud 4 times. Cover up the section that you need to memorize. Not necessarily if it was said, not the S and the D, you know that S and D says D 9 times out of 10. If your kids don't know that, go back to just understanding what the alphabet and the letters in the alphabet say. Then pick a fun way, like we do with our boogie board, our sand trays, said over and over and over and over until you can commit it to memory. Here's another fun way to practice. This is from a different packet that I have, but write the word, say the word was to. Well, I know that T says T. In this word, I need to remember by heart. Put your heart under the W, and the O says ooh, to. The W and the O, T-W-O, to. Take out your Play-Doh. This is just a fancy way of doing this. You don't need to laminate it. Put out 3 balls of Play-Doh, or however many letters are in your word. If it was said, you would do 4 balls of Play-Doh, and you would go. Actually, you would do 3 still because it's 3 phonograms, sorry. You would do okay? Said. And looking, in this case, if you're doing the Play-Doh thing, you want to look at the AI when you smash the Play-Doh. That's your visual, auditory, you're saying it, kinesthetic, moving your hands, and touching, tactile. So important. You would go or if you want to do it by letters, get the 4 pieces out. S-A-I-D, said. And keep it on a ring or a stack with a good old elastic band around it of words that they know once they really master them, and then drill them all the time. What's this one? What's this one? What's this one? Okay. So sight words need to be committed to memory. This is just a bit of a different way of learning them. But whether you do it with the hearts and the fancy and the whatever, they need to be looking at it, saying it out loud by letters and sounds until they know it just like that and fast. Okay, so that is it for lesson 2. I love you just the way you are, as Mr. Rogers would say. You don't need to change a thing. You're perfect, you're wonderful, you're amazing, you're talented in so many ways. Not being able to be necessarily the reader you want to be right now is not who you are. It's something you have to deal with right now and work hard, but it is not who you are, my friend. You are so many other things. You are a sister, a brother, a daughter, a son, an artist, an athlete. You are so many other things other than a person who's learning to read, okay? I love you. Thanks for being with me. Good luck with all your work this week. Every day, babies. Every day. You have to. You got it. I know you can. Have a little bag of chips, a couple of candies or something, fruit. Be healthy too. Don't get cavities. Don't listen to me. Just do what you need to do to stay motivated to keep going. The end.